Well, guys, once again, good evening and welcome to our session. Well, you know that every day we keep on advancing on the different aspects of our cycle 2 from A2. And well, for today, what we have is the review session of the different topics that we have studied on Unit 6. For today, basically, let me accept some people. The idea of today basically divided into two different parts. First, we're going to refresh our memory, talking about future, and then we will talking about, let's say, that other component or that perspective that we were studying, which was talking about holidays, special days. Well, actually, we had like a different look, you know, at that vocabulary. We were talking about vacations. We were talking about the special days. So we were talking about celebrations. So let's say that the analysis was done in different parts. So that is what we are going to do. Also, we're going to do today one of the activities that I told you that we had from yesterday. But anyway, it is going to be a group work. I hope that you had the chance to look at the information. So when we go like to socialize what the statements are, I mean, talking about the one that you created, the process is like easier to follow, okay? Well, as usual, let's start with the, let's say the typical. I'm going to take attendance now. If the other participants arrive, well, they still have some minutes, you know, to avoid the absence. Bueno, el cuadrito, today the 24th. Oh my God, January is over. Sergio David.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Andrés Felipe.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jennifer Paola.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Kiara Lisette.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jorge Jair.
Present, teacher.
Diego Fernando.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Dana Valentina. Not here for the moment. Manuela Ortiz.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Joan Sebastián.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Beatriz Omaira.
Present, teacher.
Very good. Hamilton. I think I saw him, yes. Hamilton Peña. Cuando conteste, la ajusto aquí. Julia Stephanie. Ok, no está por el momento. Xiomara Caterine.
Present.
Ok. Jessica Paola.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Caterina Alexandra.
Present, teacher.
Ok. María Alejandra Rosso. Let me check. Not here for the moment, I guess. Marlon Yesit. Not here as well. Mendy Fabián.
Teacher, present.
Okay. Karen Juliet. Not here for the moment. María Alejandra Vega.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Vanessa Zambrano.
Present, teacher.
Good. And Natalia Navarro. Not here for the moment. Okay, I know that there are some days that I take attendance like quite earlier, like today, and in other cases I take attendance around like 6:12, more or less. Ya listo. But anyway, you know, guys, that according to the regulation that we have, you guys have up to, let's say 6:15 or the first 15 minutes, let's say to take part of the class without any type of, let's say, observation on, of course, talking about any type of absence, which is like the ideal. Hopefully the other ones will eventually take part of the session. So we can start officially on what we are going to do today. Okay, I hear there is a microphone open. I don't know if there is probably any question. Let me see who that is. Okay. Well, guys, today, as I was telling you, review of Unit 6. Basically, we're about, well, you already know that we're about to finish. On this first part of, let's say, our session, we will work on the closure of Unit 6, and then from 8 to 10, you will start Unit 7. So, the idea on this first part is to make sure that you remember the different aspects that we were studying during the unit. I was telling you that we will be, let's say, discussing different aspects, talking about future, and also talking about holidays, celebrations. Specifically, we are going to focus our attention on celebrations. That is going to be like our first point of reference. Let's call it like that. So, to refresh our memory, I'm going to present to you the same chart that I presented yesterday. I was telling you, like, let's recap. There are different types of future, and we were talking about will. Now we know that will is not only to talk about future. We also use it when we're talking about predictions. At the end of the day, I was also telling you that it is impossible to know what the future entails. We don't really know what is going to happen. So basically, there are different possibilities if we're talking about those plans, if we're talking about an expectation, or in this case that we are talking about a prediction. But for the moment, because we are analyzing, you know, like that grammatical point of view, let's keep in mind that when we use will, we're talking about predictions. That is probably one of the most common uses. To refresh our memory of that topic that we started studying yesterday, we're going to practice with a Kahoot, okay? Then we will move to a more, let's say, formal exercise. I'm gonna send you the link to the chat. There you have it. As usual, you know the drill. Write your name, type actually your name, and choose your avatar. Of course, this Kahoot is going to be about will. Basically, the intention is to, let's say, be careful, you know, with the grammatical structure, the combinations, all those elements. I know that you know, but the idea is now to analyze the context to see if it is more appropriate to use it affirmative or negative, how the verb is, let's say, transformed in case that it is transformed. So just like very general ideas for you to have in mind for this Kahoot that we have tonight. I'm gonna give you probably a couple of minutes, maybe top. There are 17 of you. 18 actually. No, 17, 18 counting me. There are already 11 of you. Let me turn the camera off for a moment. Well, let's see. $13 for 3 left, sorry. No more people? Beatriz is already there, very good. Sorry, I was drinking some water. Well, guys, it's 6:12. Let's start. Well, let me see the chat first. Let me see. Yes, I already did. I'll make the adjustment. Hamilton. Yes, Marlon, I'm gonna make the adjustment. Okay. Yeah, today I took it like 2 minutes before you took part of the session, but don't worry. Remember that you have up to 6:15. I will adjust also with adjust Natalia's as well. For the ones that have just taken part of the session, well, I know that you can type the name of the website and also type the code. Anyway, I'm gonna send you here the link. For the ones that are just taking part of the session tonight, we can say tonight now, we are going to review a little bit what we talked about future. Yesterday, actually, we didn't really talk about that, so they were going to consolidate that information. I guess that we can start now. There. Jennifer, very good. There you go. Analyze the statements, guys. Look at the context. Excellent. Nothing else to say. In this case, we needed affirmative. That's it. As usual, the idea that you are as fast as possible. Andres, excellent. Thomas is sick. He won't be. Very good. Remember that we always need the verb. Let me go back a little bit to the presentation. We were saying the other day that will by itself doesn't mean anything. With the verb, then that makes sense. Without the verb, we can't do anything. That's the point. Oh, Sebastian, very good. Look, it's like question and answer. So be careful with the words that you choose. Very good. It is a yes, no question, we can see. And we have to make sure that there is alignment. When it's alignment, guys, we're talking about like concordancia, okay? If the statement says yes, it is not appropriate to use the negative form, you know? It wouldn't make sense. So in this case, we need will because it was a yes, no question, and the statement or the answer should be also, let's say, affirmative. Okay, some mini changes. Send is still in first place. Let's see. It was a tricky one, you know, because notice that in the original statement here, we have the word fly. We already have the verb, different from the previous sentence that we didn't have the verb. In the other case, we had will be because we needed the verb. Here, we only needed will, okay? Let me check this out for a moment. Let's see. Let's continue. Oh, anyways, our sentence is in first place. Let's see. Look at the statement, analyze the context, affirmative or negative. Okay, won't be busy. Notice that will again here, we don't have verb in here, and in here we don't have verb. Busy is an adjective, you know, when someone has like a lot of things to do, is really occupied. Let's call it like that. And notice the context. It says, so you can call back then. So in this case, we're telling that the action can actually happen in the future. So yes, she won't be busy. That's the reason why it is possible to call her in the future. Let's see if we have any changes. Maria V, very good. Number 6, again, question and answer. Very good. Once again, talking about the alignment, it's a question and the beginning says no. That means that the answer should contain won't. Otherwise, it is not correct. Notice that the verb here is talk. For the ones that chose B, it doesn't make any sense, you know. Okay. There it is. Like, I don't think that there is anything to say. Wow, Sebastian. Question and answer. Very good. We already learned our lesson. Careful, we don't use verbs in the short answers. Just like to clarify it very quickly, unless we want to give more information, but let's say, do the first part like, yes, I will, no, I won't, period, blah, 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 blah. But that is something extra that I want to add. The minimum was already done. Okay, very careful, don't make mistakes. Won't be. Notice the context. The bus was late. That means that that's impossible that the person arrives on time. Excellent. We have 3 to finish this first part of our review. Very good. I will clear. Remember, guys, be it's only needed if we are talking about, let's say, presence or existence in the future. Careful with that part. And again, here negative, it doesn't work. Nothing else to say. We are 2 away. Okay, very good. This was a kind of tricky situation. Notice that we have the, let's say, the negative part at the beginning of the statement. So we are already saying no. That is why when it will be, and guys, keep in mind, 6 people, it's a lot of people. Ready is an adjective. Ready is not a verb. Careful with that part. Oh my God, well, final question. This is the one. There won't be. Oh my God. This is the context. It says, if we arrive late, imagine that you're going to a party, there is food in the party. If you arrive really late, there is a high probability that the food has already been eaten by everybody who attended the party. So to make sense, that means that there won't be any food because we are late. Interesting. Let's see how the podium finished. Catherine on 3rd place. Very good. Mandy 2nd place, almost Mandy. And 1st place, Sebastian, of course. And the runner-ups, Vanessa and Jessica. Okay, very good. So, guys, will is pretty simple, like any type of grammatical structure that we have been studying. Let me eliminate the sound. We don't need it anymore. Yes, I was telling you, will is pretty simple to use. Any grammatical structure is like easy. And this is one of the, let's say, most simple ones, I dare to say. But notice that there are some tricky aspects that there was like need to start analyzing, like based on the context, what is the appropriate form, affirmative or negative? And which is the verb that I have to use. And now we also have to identify in which cases I am like confusing the verbs with the adjectives. In some of the answers, like a lot of you guys shows, let's say, an adjective being like on the place of a verb. So we have to be very careful with that part. Very good. Now what the first exercise? In this case, we're going to do a second practice that is going to be really fast before we go to the speaking activity that I had for yesterday, but that we are going to do tonight. Let me move this a little bit. The statement says, the instruction, sorry. Complete the sentences with will or want and a verb from the box. Okay, so a little bit similar to what we were doing in the Kahoot. We have to decide if, according to the context, according to the situation, what is the proper form. So the statement makes sense. Affirmative or negative. That would be like the first decision that you have to make. Second decision, decide on the verb. Probably it is a little bit obvious, but which verb actually fits the idea that is being presented. The first one is already an example. It says, they work hard, so I think they'll be rich one day. Based on the context, and talking about, in this case, rich, we can assume that we need a positive statement. So here we have the affirmative form. And in this case, the verb that makes sense on the idea that is being presented is be. So be is already used, okay? You can't use be again. That means that we have other 4 verbs left. Become, drive, get, and have. Let me see the chat. One question. Usually going to, yes. The idea of going to is more like talking about from the grammatical point of view, okay? Talking about plans, arrangements, and somehow we have a certainty that the plan eventually takes place in the future. Will is supposed to be only for predictions. That is like the information that somehow I wanted to share with you, you know? But in reality, at the end of the day, there is little or no difference in meaning. And that is something that I want you to keep in mind, like for your life, you know? Eventually, in real life, you will notice that in a conversation, the use of will or going to actually is not that, let's say, problematic in terms of, okay, if you use going to because you're pretty sure about the situation, we can't control the future. For the moment, we're going to keep that idea. Plans and arrangements going to, predictions and expectations will. Okay, so as I was telling you in this exercise, first decide the form will or want, if it makes sense, affirmative or negative, and then to combine it with the verb. Remember, guys, that we already use be. We can't repeat any verb in the statements. Okay, guys, do you have any question? Questions? Thank you very much. Well, we already did number 1. Notice that there is example. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, you know, to analyze the other 2 statements. We'll check them. You decide if you write it down on your notebook or wherever you consider relevant. Let me set up the timer. 5 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, time's up. Let's have a look at your answers. We already had number 1. Let's have a look at number 2. Andres Felipe, would you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. Which one?
Number 2.
Number 2. Everyone will drive electric cars by 2050.
50.
50.
That's it, Andres. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Jessica, number 3.
And number 3, humans going to get any oil in the future.
Humans. Jessica, remember that with the instruction, according to the instruction, the idea was to use will or won't. We technically going to is not part, of what we are practicing tonight. And the verb is not get. Let's ask for help, to Manuela. Number 3, what do you have?
For number 3, humans won't get any oil in the future.
Well, actually get works, but the problem is that then in another sentence, the verb that is left wouldn't make sense. If we could repeat the verbs, it's perfect, like it's correct with the general idea. But the problem is the verb that then we have left. Beatriz says won't have. This is the one that we're going to use for this part. Okay, so I always like repeat and clarify these things because I don't want you to feel like your answer is incorrect. Your answer makes sense. The problem is that the restriction that we have, like only these verbs and we can't repeat verbs. But in conclusion, your idea is good, but the answer that Beatrice gave us is the one that we need tonight. Okay. And number 4, Hamilton, what about you?
Number 4, will I get a prize if I win the game?
Very good. So, as I was telling you, in this case, the most proper one would be get. Have wouldn't make sense talking about that we are talking about obtaining a prize. You get it, you don't have it, And we finish with number 5, which is the verb that we have left for him.
You will become a scientist, but I think you will be a science teacher.
It is a little bit tricky because we can say, okay, the verb that we have left is become, but on the idea that we have on the sentence, we have but. Remember, guys, that when we use but is a contrast, right? In terms of how the statement is created, it wouldn't
You
be.
won't become.
Exactly. The narrative wouldn't make sense to have two. Let me share the answer key. The narrative wouldn't make sense if we have but, affirmative, and negative. Well, just like to refresh your memory because of your level, I know that you know. Remember that the idea of but is always to connect as any conjunction, but we're connecting to contrasting ideas. Usually the typical contrasting is like in terms of the grammar, one part is affirmative and the other part is negative. We can see, like want, and on the second part we have will, but it is not like an obligation. Could be that the sentences are affirmative, but the meaning or the intentionality is opposite. But in this case, we really needed like the negative grammatical component to see the difference between both of them. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat here. I have some messages, the answers, well, with the adjustment. Valentina arrived. Okay. And can you read it?
I can see will not or won't.
Yes, it's up to you. The difference, will not formal, won't informal. So whatever you prefer is fine. The context, as usual, plays an important role in here. Well, guys, remember that I had told you that we were going to have a kind of teeny tiny, let's say, homework for tonight. Let me share this part. Yeah, because of time, we didn't do this yesterday. I'm sure that you have noticed, or, basically that the intention is that we keep on advancing and let's try to include more speaking activities. And precisely, let's say to finish reinforcing this topic, yesterday I had shared with you this image. It was a kind of homework, just like to, let's say, save a little of our time to continue, let's say, reviewing the other topics of Unit 6. And I was telling you that from these 8, let's say, situations, the idea was to choose 5 to make predictions. I was telling you that, well, based on the grammar, we know that predictions are with will, but notice the example that we have in here. In real life, we can, use both of them, going to and will, because we can't control the future. I'm going to send you to breakout rooms. What you're going to do, guys, is that you're going to share the sentences that you created, okay? In your groups, you're going to choose, let's say, from your perspective, from your opinion, which of those are like the most interesting predictions about the future. That is a decision that you guys will make in your groups. You decide which is the most interesting. I wanna see the sentences displayed, okay? So you're gonna share your predictions like the other day that I asked you to see your screen in order to, hopefully, there aren't many, but maybe there are some aspects that we need to clarify, maybe. Let me adjust the sharing screen thing. Okay, so that is basically the idea on this part. You had your sentences. If you didn't do them, well, you still have the time. You're gonna get in your groups, and the idea that you're going to, let's say, decide which 5 predictions from the ones that you created are the most interesting. Make sure that you have your predictions ready to be displayed. When we get back, we're going to have a look at those predictions. And let's say that that would be like the end of the reviewing part about future, specifically using will. Guys, did you have any question about the instruction? Okay, no questions. Most groups are all 4 participants, so make sure that you have like, or you let all of your participants present the ideas and analyze which ones are the most interesting. When you guys, all of you go to the room, I'm gonna send a message telling you that you have 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, we come back as usual. Well, guys, let's start. Let me know if you have any questions.
Teacher,
Yes, Vanessa.
a question. In the example, our school is going to have, I can use the will, o sea, el will.
Yes, at the end of the day, we can use it.
Okay. So,
Good.
thank you,
Remember.
teacher.
Thank you for your question, Vanessa.
Teacher,
Affirmative or negative? Yes, Jorge.
we can use going to.
If you want to use it, make sure that the grammatical components are correct. But if you're going to use going to, make sure that you do it as the example. One part with going to and the other part with will. Not only going to, then combine.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Perfect, Jorge. Well, guys, let's begin. We still have more activities for the night. Let's see, 10 minutes. Well, guys, welcome back. Now, what we are going to do, or what you guys are going to do, you are going to share the predictions that you made. Remember that the idea for you somehow was one to decide which ones were more like appealing from your perspective. And then let's say to classify the ones that you brought for the ones that did it. I told you like to have the idea in mind. And also as the instruction stated, the idea that you're going to share your predictions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can have a look at the sentences that you created. And of course, we're going to begin with group number 1. Diego, Hamilton, Jennifer, and Catherine. So which of you guys is the one in charge of sharing the screen?
Can you see, teacher and
Yes.
classmates?
Mhm.
The 5th sentence of my group is Los Angeles Lakers is going to get a new prize in the NBA. It will be amazing. Vélez, the town will have more universities and will improve its roads. Our country will have a lot of visitors in December. It will be propitious for the economic. The teacher will go on a beat street this year.
I agree.
Manuela won't get bad grades in the English course.
English course. Okay, guys, very good. Well, you decided to, but don't stop sharing the screen so fast. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I was having a look at the spelling. Very good. Just, and you were doing like the introduction, Hamilton, you said our 5 sentences are, because we're talking about like a number, just like the introduction and the pronunciation of roads in the second statement that you have in there.
Roads.
It will be amazing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for your predictions. Very good. Let's continue. Group number 2, Jorge, Karen, Juliet, Kiara Martinez, and Maria Vega. So who's in charge of sharing screen? Group number 2.
Yo, profe, puedo decirles, es que no puedo compartir pantalla. Estoy en...
Si quiere yo la comparto y usted nos dice.
Ok, listo.
Okay.
The first sentence. I am planning to study a magister, so I think my thesis advisor will be Professor Carolina Ramirez. And my country has a lot of pollution, so the people will learn to take care of the environment. And my classmate never gets late to class, so she will have good results in the finish period. And in the future, Malaga will become a major touristic destination for people and looking at investment in the new places.
Okay. So those are the ones that you classified. Very good. Well, let's have a look at some of your ideas. First of all, well, you were in charge, Kiara, talking about the pronunciation, advisor, and probably the one about the, like the end of the semester, like the last period. Okay, not in the finished period, the last period is more appropriate, okay? The class is,
Okay, teacher.
okay. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. Good predictions. Let's move to group number 3, Andres Felipe, John Sebastian, and Marlon Sanchez.
Okay, teacher. The Bucaramanga Football Club are going to engage an excellent player, they will be champions. Our country will host for the first time an international Red Bull. This will be impressive. This semester, I am finished all of signatures. Andres will graduate on July. We will be finished classes on February 17, and Sebastian will travel to his town. Sorry, his town. To his town. And Colombia have a new leftist president. He won't have right-wing politics.
Okay, well, there are some aspects that we need to, let's say, adjust just in terms like of organization and also in terms of spelling. Guys, don't forget to number your sentences. I mean, for all the groups, not only you guys. The first one, you wrote football like Spanish. That's not we write football in English, right? I'm not asking you or to forcing you to type soccer, but there we have football. It doesn't say football, okay? What's
Okay.
this? What the proper spelling? Oh, well, or soccer. I mean, it's whatever you prefer. The Bucaramanga soccer team. And because we're talking about like a whole entity, then is the word to be used would be is instead of are, because we're talking about like a unity, not like different individuals. Is going to engage or is going to hire? What do you mean by engage, guys?
Teacher, like a contract, like contratar.
Okay. But engage in that context doesn't match, you know, engage. Well, like we have in the chat, hire is more appropriate, you know. Engage is more when we are trying to hook something up in terms of making it more interesting or more appealing.
For
Or
machine or something like that, like engagement.
also in some cases it looks like machine, but in this case, because it's a person hired and excellent. Don't forget, guys, that because excellent begins with a vowel, then the article has to be an excellent player. They will be champions. That's the dream, right? The next one, our country will host. So our country will host an international Red Bull. What it's, this is a tournament event?
Yes, it's a tournament of freestyle rap.
Okay, so precisely we need also that information in the statement. So our country will host an international Red Bull freestyle tournament for the first time, or for the first time, comma, our country will host an international So also change the for the first time, you decided at the beginning or at the end of the idea that you are presenting. Okay.
Okay.
Let me. Let's continue. This semester, comma, I am finishing all the, well, we have to be careful with signature because signature is how you write your name. Let's say, for example, on documents, on your ID. That is not what we call a signatura. What you mean here is subject, you know? I am finishing all subjects. Andres will graduate on July 2. We will finish classes. Remember, guys, while we were discussing, let's say during the Kahoot, be unless we want to see será, say. That is the point. On February 17th, and Sebastian will turn to his town. You already made the adjustment. Colombia has. Because once again, we're talking about like a whole entity. And you left this president, it won't have right wing. It won't have right wing politics. La derecha, it won't have right wing politics. Okay. That would be it. Well, guys, Careful with the different adjustments that we were making. Notice that the grammatical part talking about will and going to was like fine. Careful with the other things and the other corrections that we always provide. Thank you very much. Group number 3, John Sebastian in particular, you were sharing your screen. Let's continue with group number 4. We have Manuela, Mendy, Natalia, and Vanessa.
Okay, teacher.
Let's see. So which was the top 5?
Okay. Colombia is going to into or into,
It,
okay.
it looks like repetitive, but it's going to into an sorry, a
To
national.
into a national state by different social issues. It will be difficult situation for all the sectors of the country. Bucaramanga is going to live a very expensive period. It will be a period for the break for the impulse buying. Our classmate is going to have a new technological gadget. Our teacher Miley will get a new apartment in Cartagena City.
Of course.
And San Francisco Liam is going to have the victory in the next game. Claudia is my sociology teacher. She's a pregnant now. Our class with another teacher is will be very different.
Our class with another teacher will be very different. Is not necessary. Borre saying.
Okay.
Eliminate that is teacher in the statement that you're talking about, Professor Claudia. Teacher will be.
Acá?
No, eliminate is.
Okay.
Yeah,
¿Así?
because it's strike in terms of pronunciation, Vanessa, strike and period. All right. No, the pronunciation.
Okay.
Strike and period. Okay, that's it. Those are the ones. Thank you, group number 3, and Vanessa for sharing your screen.
Thank you, teacher.
Sorry, that was group number 4, my mistake. Group number 5, Beatriz, Xiomara, and Jessica.
Okay.
Our group, they classify and positive and negative sentence.
Okay, good.
Our sports team will be the winner if we all do our best on the field.
Okay.
If we're all pick up the trash, our city will stay clean. Our classmates are studying a lot of. I think that we will pass to the exam. If we don't study enough, we won't be able to get good grades. My city is not grow as I hope, so I will worry about this. My classmates won't go to class tomorrow because it's very sick.
Okay, Beatriz, thank you very much. Let's analyze your statements. Okay, the first one would be it. On the second one, this you have if well. I think that what you mean here is will, like the contraction of we plus will. On the second sentence, Beatriz?
The second sentence?
Because it says if well. What is well? Well, you know, actually, we have to be careful. Well, first of all, that's my question. What do you mean here by this second word, Beatriz? And of course, group number 5, in order to help her, she's not alone, of course. What do you mean by well?
Si nosotros como que limpiamos, nuestra ciudad estaría limpia.
Okay, well, let's be careful with that part. in Spanish, si nosotros limpiamos, right? This well doesn't match. It would be, let's say, in present form. If we, let's say that for the moment, we can't use if with a future form. I'm going to say.
Will pick up.
No, we can't use will when the statement contains if.
We can we?
No, sorry, Beatriz. Eliminate can, eliminate will. Because of grammar, if is forcing us to use a statement in a present form, okay? If is very, the first word, the word if, is very restrictive, you know, it's very, let's say, complicated.
Yes.
So we literally can't, like, it's impossible. I'm going to be really dramatic, of course, to use, for example, future. Like in this case, we have will in the same statement that contains if. So our, let's say, situation would be keep it for the moment in present, like is the tense that we are using. If we all pick, if we pick up the trash, our city will stay clean. That's perfect, okay? And not only for Beatriz, of course, guys, for everybody. Keep that in mind. If it's very picky. Our classmates are saying a lot. I think that we will pass the exam. Eliminate 2.
Okay.
Different if we were talking about the action of passing to something. In this case, we had a noun. We don't study enough, comma. We won't be able to get good grades. This second statement from the negative group, Beatriz, it says, my city is not grow. What do you mean? ¿No ha crecido?
Sí, que no crece como yo lo esperaba.
Okay.
Como yo lo espero, como sí.
So, remember that it is a kind of obligation to use an auxiliary unless we're talking about the verb to be. So, when my city doesn't grow, we can't send the negative part. Oh, it's not growing. Perfect, Beatriz. It's better. Yeah, because it is like a process that continues. Actually, your choice is better. So I will worry about this. Grammatically is correct. Like in the future, you will have that feeling. In the present, like not yet. My classmate won't go to class tomorrow because he's very sick. Okay. That would be Beatriz and group number 5. Thank you very much. Let me share out. You stop sharing and then I start sharing mine. So once again, like to wrap up this part of the session, well, I'm going to share already like the next slide. Notice how tricky it is. We have already analyzed the grammatical components and it's very easy. But when we put it into practice, then we find other components that somehow could be a little bit confusing. Notice that in most of the cases, there were minimum things to analyze, minimum things to correct. And those are like the important moments when we polish what we know. You already know, guys, that you have a really good level. The idea is to polish it so we can move to B1 and eventually move to B2. That's the point. But we have to keep up, you know, with the good level that we have. Well, guys, that would be like, let's say, the end on that part, talking about the future. The second topic that we're going to refresh a little bit about is related to vocabulary. If you remember, one of the topics that we were studying on Unit 6 was talking about the things or the elements that we need where we're going to travel. So here we have 8 pictures and here we have 8 sentences. The idea, as the instruction says, you are going to complete the sentences matching the words that we have in here to the corresponding sentence. Number one, we have carry on bag, charger, check-in desk, exchange, packing luggage, passport, sunblock, and taxi. Okay. The idea also is that the sentences, let's say, are aligned to the number that you see on the picture. So picture number 1 is about sentence number 1, picture number 7 about number 7, and so forth. Okay, that would be the idea. Let's see. Any questions, guys, about this activity?
No.
Okay, guys, very simple. This is going to be like a very fast practice, you know. Some of the words are kind of obvious, probably in others you want to make sure and to check them very fast. Then after this, we're going to move to another speaking activity, but in this case, talking about celebrations. I'm gonna give you 6 minutes. I think it's more than enough. Let's start. Well, guys, time's up. Talking about general vocabulary, let's say related to things that we need when we travel. Beatriz, what about statement number 1?
Number 1. Exchange money at the airport.
That's it. Very good. Xiomara, what about number 2?
Show your passport at the check-in desk.
Okay. Vanessa, number 3.
It is expensive to take a taxi to the airport.
Okay. Very good. Number 4, Natalia.
You need sunblock for the beach.
That's it. Mandy, 5.
Teacher, the 5 is cheese packing luggage for a 3.
Luggage. Marlon, 6.
Number 6, at the airport first go to the at the check-in desk.
That would be it. Let's continue with number 7, Maria Vega. María Alejandra Vega.
He has a sharker in a suitcase.
No. Exchange them, Maria. Which is the other? Because we only have 2 words left. So if it is not charger, which is the other one? Marianne. Let's ask Manuela for help. It is not charger. Manuela, what is 7?
Teacher, you say it's not charger?
Yeah, number 7 is
48,
not.
The
No,
number
for 7. For
for
7.
7 is carry on back.
That would be it. Yeah, that was what I was telling Maria. Like, we only had 2 choices. Here we have the answer key just to make sure that, let's say you have clear which the answer was on all the statements that we had here related to things that we can take when we travel. And well, guys, somehow to start having, let's say, a closure to the different aspects that we were studying on our unit 6. I want you to have a look at these 4 pictures. Let's put it like that we have in here. And the question says, look at these unusual celebrations. What do you think people do on these days? Well, let's read, of course, the information that we have in here. Kiara, could you read the celebration that we have from September 5th?
In September 5th, be late for something day.
What do you think the celebration could be about?
I don't know. It's about I don't know.
But just by like having a look at the name, what do you think it would be related to?
No, teacher. I don't know, be late for something day. I don't know.
Let's see, Catherine, what do you think? Based on the name, what could be that day about?
It's about people come late every day or maybe.
Well,
Pues ella
probably,
fue tarde.
yeah, that
Yes.
day in particular.
Mhm.
Okay, that could be it. We'll see. Well, we're just talking about crazy celebration. Let's put it like that. Karen Juliet, what about the one that we have in here on July the 20th? It says National Ice Cream Day.
Maybe you receive ice cream free.
A
For you.
free ice cream? That would be awesome.
And maybe you can share with your family or friends a special day with eating ice cream.
Okay, could be. Very good. Jorge, what about the one that says January 3rd Festival of Sleep?
I think that the people these days can sleep late.
That would be great as well. And the final one, it says May the 6th, International Nurses Day. Joan Sebastian, what could happen that day?
In what, teacher?
May 6th.
Macy's, International Nurses Day.
Huh. What do you think? You're not paying attention, Sebastian. What do you think that made up celebration could be about?
In Colombia, no, that day no is celebrate. But in other countries, maybe, I don't know, in the place of the work of the nurses, will be a party or a special food, maybe.
Yeah, actually the idea that we are talking about for made up celebrations, probably they are not real. As you said, in that case, probably there are some countries where they actually celebrate what nurses do. But precisely this was like the intention, talking about made up days, because this is going to be the final activity of the night. Guys, you are going to think of a new celebration created by you. I don't want you to talk about Barranquilla's Carnival. I don't want you to talk about Valentine's Day. The idea that you think of something, let's say, a little bit creative, I would say creative, similar to the 4 examples that we had in here. I don't want you to create like a visual or something very, let's say, demanding. It's something very short, notice I go back the images that we have in here and the information that you shared. The idea that you're going to tell me, you're going to be working on the same groups that you were working on the previous activity. The name of the celebration, as we saw. Who is the celebration for? You decide the type of audience, if children, adults, elderly, students, parents, whatever you prefer. When is your celebration? Pick a date. That is up to you, 3 things people do on this celebration. One of the examples was taking advantage of the situation, like what Sebastian was saying, like they invite nurses to eat something, they give them something, could be, that's up to you. 3 things that people eat or drink for this celebration. And basically, why is your celebration fun? Something very simple. Why you consider that this celebration that you will come up with is actually fun to be implemented. Okay, that is going to be the idea, and that is how we're going to finish today's session. Once again, I am not asking you to create something like with day 1, day 2. Just answer these questions very simple, very easily. You are going to decide in your groups who's the person that is going to present the celebration. The idea is that it's a different person from the first activity. For example, from the first group, Hamilton is not going to present the celebration. You decide which person is actually in charge of it. Also, for example, in room number 5, Beatriz is not going to present the celebration. Could be Xiomara or Jessica. That's up to you. Guys, do you have any question? Okay, very
No,
simple.
only write the sentences about this question.
That's it, to have them ready and of course to share them eventually with the group. Each group will have maximum 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to present the ideas. Remember, very short and very easy. Let's start. You will have 12 minutes starting when all of you take part of the breakout rooms. Let's go. Well, guys, welcome back. Could you finish?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Perfect. Well, let's start so we can make sure that we have some minutes before we start the second session of tonight. Let's begin now with group number 5. We had Beatriz, iPhone, that I assume is Maria Alejandra Rosso, Xiomara, and Jessica. So which of you guys will, let's say, present that celebration?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing in case that you want to share something. I didn't tell you to create like a visual, but if you did, that's fine.
¿Comparto pantalla?
Yes, if you created something.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, let's begin.
No alcanzamos a terminar, teacher.
Okay, don't worry.
Number 1, what is the name of your celebration? The Tortoise Day.
Okay.
The second, what is your celebration for the tortoise?
Tortoises.
Tortoises. Number 3, when is your celebration of 23 May?
23rd.
20.
RD, not TH, RD.
Okay. Number 4, what are 3 things people do for this celebration? We call it rubbish for the take care of the environment. Environment. We go out to work. We wear the color greens clothes. Number 5, what are 3 things that people eat or drink for this celebration? The people eat children and crabs. The people eat lettuce and vegetables.
Vegetables.
Vegetables. The people drink water and green soda.
Okay.
In number 6, no onwards.
Well, don't worry. We collect rubbish to take care, not for the take care, to take care. Like, what's the reason we collect rubbish? To take care. Well, and I know that time was quite short. Thank you, Samara, and of course, group number 5. Group number 4, Manuela, Natalia, Vanessa.
Teacher, we don't ready.
You didn't finish?
No, teacher.
Don't worry. Group number 3, Andres, John, Sebastian, and Marlon, did you finish?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
A moment. Document. Okay.
Okay. Our celebration is Drunk's Day.
Okay.
Is for all the people we want to drink without limit that day. Just by cover, women will be free and men will pay $20. It will on October 29. Similar date at of the Oktoberfest.
Okay.
All people will drink alcoholic drinks. Everyone will dance.
Okay.
Everyone will play games of chains and drunken contest. Play beer point. And can you meet broad or hangovers, beer, cocktails, and shots? Because you can enjoy with your friends and listen all type of music. It will be a fantastic day.
Okay, Marlon. So, Just pay cover women. The second sentence, for the people who want to drink without limit that they just paid cover women. What do you mean? Only women
Okay,
pay.
maybe the verb is not in past. Like solamente.
Sí, solamente.
Women will be free. I guess that, I mean, probably this first part can be eliminated. Like, for the cover, women will be free for women, and men will pay $20. Cover will
And
be
only
free for women. Again? And men, yeah, would pay. That would be it. And because you can enjoy with your friends and listen to all types of music. It will be a fantastic day. Yeah, it looks fun. Okay. Well, I guess, thank you guys. Well, I know that time, of course, is our enemy as usual. I'm going to ask one more group. So group number 4, you will start tomorrow. Group number 2, Jorge, Karen, Kiara, and Maria Vega. Did you finish?
Yes.
Okay, let's
Yes,
share your
teacher.
screen. While you get ready, group number 1, did you finish as well?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so you can pass tonight. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take up some minutes from your break. I'm sorry. The other ones are already on break. Let's see. Nice.
One, National Pet Parents Day. 2, pet owners without children. 3, this celebration will be on 23rd September. 4, the people can do different activities. Maybe share photos in their social media, buy gifts for their pets like toys or food for pets. 5, cookies, milk, and jellies. And 6, because people who don't want to have children, they can have the opportunity to celebrate as parent of their pets.
Perfect. And you also have a picture, right? Do you want to share it? Okay, very good. Guys, nice celebration. And the information is pretty clear and you don't have any things to be corrected. Thank you very much, group number 2. Excellent.
Thank you, teacher.
And group number 1. Let me remind you the members, Diego, Hamilton, Jennifer, and Catherine.
Yes, Miss. Okay.
Nice one.
Empanadas weekend.
Okay.
This celebration is alive for all age. We celebrate the Empanadas Day in the third weekend of March. In this celebration, the people can enjoy with their families and friends. They can taste different kinds of salsas, and they can participate in a contest about the person that eats faster. The people can drink beer, lemonade, oatmeal, and soda. This celebration is fun because the people can enjoy the show and share with their family and friends. Also, they can eat a lot of empanada.
Of course. Nice. Okay. Careful with salsas. You know that is sauces. And
okay.
Talking about the drink oat milk. Okay. So the beverage. La vena de tomar. Okay.
Yes.
That's the one, like the drink. Okay. That would be it. Thank you for your celebration, team number 1.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to take up more of your time. Hopefully, I would like to hear tomorrow group number 4 for you ladies to finish. Guys, one last thing before we go. The coordinator was telling us that we have to deliver the report on Monday morning. I'm going to say this in Spanish. I don't want any type of confusion. El reporte final y las notas deben estar en el sistema el lunes temprano en la mañana para hacer todo el proceso académico. Eso quiere decir que el fin de semana, en efecto, tengo que hacer todo lo que es el recogido de notas. El aula virtual va a estar, es decir, las notas las voy a recolectar el domingo en la mañana. Entonces, para que, digamos, tengan el sábado de tal manera que lo último que yo voy a hacer de sacar en términos de notas, de colocar en el sistema académico, es el aula virtual. ¿Ok? Hamilton, tienes la mano levantada, señor.
Esto, teacher, I hasn't
I
aula
haven't.
virtual. I
No,
haven't.
you already have it. Everybody has Moodle, Hamilton.
Teacher, yo no sé mi usuario y contraseña.
¿No le enviaron los datos?
No, o no he visto ese correo.
Mucho sabor. Nos fuimos a la nueva fe.
Porque
Voy a revisar y cualquier cosa escribo. Thank you.
listo. Ok. Yes, guys. Porque bueno, les estaba insistiendo en ese aspecto. Acá no les robo más tiempo. Les estaré también como recordando estos días. Que les vaya bien en la siguiente sesión. See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you as usual. Bye, bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye, teacher.